How much have you been using the stop process over the last few months?
Yeah, so...
Because you mentioned a little bit earlier that
so probably around like December and like a bit of January. And then, because I had watched, I think the last time, I think it was the video on the inner critic.
Yeah, so module 9, I think it is, yeah.
And so I had watched that around December time. And I had done a little bit of work on the stop process as well. I think I'd watched that video again. And then, so I was using it like here and there, mainly for when I would feel a bit anxious.
Yeah.
I think it was only when I'd feel anxious, really. I think in December, I had used it a bit for like when I'm, because we were doing a bit of work on the inner critic. So I was like, when I, feel like I'm being harsh on myself, or like can feel myself like saying like not nice things to myself, like I did it a bit then. But yeah, since then it's kind of like stopped. I've just kind of like forgot about it. And then there'll be occasions where I'm like, oh, I should do that.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it on the odd day.
Yeah. Because I think it could be really helpful here.
Okay.
Because in a sense, there's different ways with working with being sick therapeutically, but particularly when you have a feeling which results in a behavior to get to another feeling, if we can recognize that feeling and then stop.
Yeah.
And in that moment of stop, because what you're really trying to get in that moment is a feeling of lightness and a feeling of happiness and a feeling of spaciousness and a feeling of being more in your body, which from what you've described is kind of what happens when you meditate and when you slow things down. And if each time you notice a trigger that either would result in being sick or the desire to want to be sick and to stop and to really calm and really settle your system, and also in that moment to recognize you've actually got two choices. You've got the choice of continuing the cycle of being sick, but with that goes less energy, feeling more stuck, more frustrated, long-term damage to your body if you keep doing it, or you've got a choice of really focus on being the best version of you, being more grounded, more calm, more consistent in the gym, more kind to yourself, more kind of optimistic. And in that moment, you're like, I can see those two choices clearly, because also what's happening at the moment is you're putting into a box the negative and sort of pretending it's not there in that moment. And if we can also, if in that moment you could truly see both choices clearly, like all of the cost and the implications of continuing with being sick, or all the benefits of not, I think that decision would be easier. At the moment, though, what's happening is you're focusing on the positives of being sick and all the negatives of not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely something in that moment. Like I only think about like kind of one thing.
Yeah.
I don't really think about, how I'm going to feel about it, or like how I'm going to be in like a month's time. It's kind of a very
instant gratification in a sense.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. How do you feel about using the stop? Do you feel like that's something you'd be able to do, using the stop process in those situations?
Yeah, no, I definitely would want to.
Yeah.
And like have a look at the videos again and kind of like, I definitely think it's something that could work.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen it have really good results with bulimia, and it's like it's sometimes that alone is enough. Particularly if there's meditation practice and other things around it. Other times that's helpful to bring some other pieces in, and we can certainly do that as well. But it's particularly given you've already had some good experience working with the stop process historically, it's good to reintroduce that as a skill. I think rewatching module 4 would really help, because it will just remind you of the process and how to work with it. But particularly what you're wanting to do is to stop the kind of impulsive, just going to, and in that moment, because I think what's happening is, as you describe, you're becoming quite tunnel vision in that moment. It's like, if I just do this, then I'm feeling this. If I just do this, I'll get to that. And it's like your focus goes there.
Yeah.
And if we can stop that, and you can step back for a minute, and you can calm everything down, and then re-look at it, I think you'll find that it's a different choice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think so. I think I just have to acknowledge this is how I'm feeling and kind of like just like give it a go, because I mean it's worked so well for when I've been feeling anxious, and this is pretty much a very similar thing. Like this is the way I've been feeling, and so yeah.